This video explains how to reverse a pandas data frame in the Python programming language. So without too much talk, let's dive into the Python code. As a first step for this tutorial, we need to import the pandas library, as you can see in the first line of code. And then we also need to create a data frame using the data frame constructor. So after running these lines of code, a new data frame called data is created. And we can print this data frame below the code box using the print function. And then you can see that our data frame contains 5 rows and the 2 columns x1 and x2. And as you can see, the first column x1 contains numeric values ranging from 1 to 5. And the second column x2 contains numeric values ranging from 9 to 5. Now let's assume that we want to reverse the order of the rows in our data frame. Then we can apply the code that you can see in the third code box. So in this line of code, I specify the name of our data frame. So in this case, our data frame is called data. Then I use square brackets, and within the square brackets, I specify 2 columns and the value -1. And then I'm storing the output of this in a new data frame object that I call data ref1. And then I'm using the print function once again to print our updated data frame. So as you can see, after running these lines of code, a new data frame was created. And this data frame contains the same values as our input data frame. However, these values have been reordered. So the last row of our previous data frame is now shown at the top of the data frame, and the first row of the input data frame is now shown at the bottom. You can also see that the index values of this data frame have also been reversed. So let's assume that we want to keep the index, but we still want to reverse the rows of our data frame. Then we can use the reset index function, as you can see in the fourth code box. So the first part of the code is exactly the same as in the previous example. However, in addition to that, I'm this time applying the reset index function. And within this function, I specify the drop argument to be equal to true. And then I'm printing our new data frame below the code box. So as you can see, this data frame contains exactly the same reversed ordering as our previously created data frame. However, this time the index positions have been kept. In the previous 2 examples, I have explained how to reverse the order of the rows in a data frame. However, it's also possible to reverse the columns of a data frame, and this is what I want to show you in the next example in the 5th code box. So in this line of code, I specify the name of our data frame. Then I use square brackets, and within the square brackets, I specify the columns attribute of our data frame, and then I specify square brackets again. And within the square brackets, I specify 2 columns and the value -1. And as in the previous examples, I store the output in a new data frame object that I call data ref3, and I print this data frame below the code box. So after running these lines of code, you can see that the ordering of the rows is the same as in our input data frame. However, this time the column x2 has been switched to the first position, and the column x1 is now shown on the right side of the data frame. That's all I wanted to explain in this video. In case you want to learn more on this topic, you may check out my homepage, statisticsglobe.com, because on my homepage I have recently published a tutorial in which I'm explaining the content of this video in some more detail. I will put a link to this tutorial into the description of the video, so you can find it there. If you have liked this video, or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. I'll try to respond to all comments as soon as I can. Furthermore, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notified about future video releases. I have already published about 500 videos on this channel, and I'm releasing new videos on a daily basis. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video.